Last week we ass blasted the shit out of people with Jund. This week I look to continue the ass blasting with an audience of snakes, frogs and demons. That's right kids, it's back.
All glory to the Hypnotoad!
I probably shouldn't be playing a fair deck if I'm honest. You see, Modern has a problem, it's just too fast. Everyone is racing around trying to kill each other as fast as possible without any interaction. Unless you count a conflagration for 9 out of the graveyard to kill you and one of your creatures as interaction. I don't, for the record. I think that's fucking annoying. The format's a fucking mess. It's like bumper cars at the fun fair, except every single person involved's a massive cunt.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Modern seems to be people just sitting around masturbating furiously, occasionally looking up to play a random Leyline or Stony Silence Silver Bullet and hoping their opponent doesn't have the removal spell for that hose or enchantment. If that sounds like a fun format to you, then fuck off. I mean, Modern's always been a format that relied too heavily on sideboard cards, but it's getting ridiculous now. So with all that in mind, I ignore these facts and I play a derpy mid-range deck with a combo finish. Yippee-ki-yay, mother frogger. I did a more extensive Green Black Value Town deck, tech, list and discussion in the previous video that I will link to in the cards in the top right of the screen or in the description below. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. I'm quite proud of that video. This deck is fucking awesome. Essentially, the aim of the game is to grind out our opponents with our huge amounts of value by drawing cards and making more land drops than our opponents in order to utilise those cards. This is all sped up and facilitated by Heartless Summoning, making the majority of our degenerate cards cost a fraction of their original mana cost. Essentially, Heartless Summoning allows us to be the proactive, inverted commas, combo deck with the game plan of land storming them to death with Nicki Minaj over here. Since we last dabbled with the list, we now have Ass Trophy to allow us to have answers that hit everything instead of diversified removal, and we also have an extra utility land in Guild of Guin, which I'm playing one of. I'm also playing one copy of one of the Guild of Ravnica Planeswalkers, as she fills a slot in generating value off of our lands and sacking them, and being both a good removal spell and a win condition in and of herself. Whether the completely competitive version should have a copy of her, I don't know, but she's actually been pretty good so far. I think this deck is generally very strong and can stomp on most mid-range and fair decks, including Tron, thanks to our land destruction plan. But the problem is, it's not super hot against combo. We have hand disruption, so some combo decks are affected by that, but Dredge and Hollow One laughs at us for the most part and just kills us on turn 3 while we sit there wishing that we could have access to Splinter Twin. I mean, it's a good job that's banned, right? Can you imagine a Modern format where people killed you on turn 4? Surprised gasp, followed by exasperated expulsion of air. Wizards, please. The sideboard probably needs some work. I think Surgical actually might be better than Leyline in a deck where we draw as many cards as we do after the turn 3 period, so drawing into Surgicals becomes a lot better there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below with how we can refine this and perhaps make the combo matchups a bit better. Damping Sphere might just be the answer. As always, the inhabitants of the freshly dubbed Ajani Shed have helped to bring this content to you. I have a large group of excellent people pumping me money to help support me in taking this whole content creator and YouTube thing seriously. I'm getting very close to considering quitting my day job and committing to this full time. If you want to help and support the channel directly, you can follow the link to my Patreon in the description below. The largest contributors of my Patreon can be seen on screen now. These are my splicers and they are fucking wicked. Thank you guys and girls from the bottom of my cold, Modern hating heart. And of course, all cards were lent to you by the fantastic MTGO traders. Both MTGO traders and Cape Fear Games are the OG sponsors of PleasantKenobi and have supported me over the last year or so to grow this channel to where it is now. Use the discount code GGGetWrecked when purchasing your MTGO cards from traders or physical cards from Cape Fear Games in order to help support the channel here. And last but not least, Cards Fair as a company and community have invited me in with open arms. If you want a site to trade your cards on, then look no further than cardsphere.com, a passion project with top-notch support. You cannot go wrong with Cardsphere. So with all that shilling out of the way, let's get to some mid-range mirrors. So I played about 11 games of the deck to grab some footage for today's video. Only 3 of those games were against fair decks, and they're the ones I'm going to be focusing on today. However, I did want to show you this mad lad playing Zakama, the super duper 3-headed dinosaur T-Rex thing, in their Amulet Titan list. Like, holy shit. That is a terrifying thing to find when you Thoughtseize on turn 1. I managed to steal out game 2 with a combo, but ultimately lost the set to Amulet because they were just too fast. But let's take a look at the more mid-range ass blastathon matches because I think they're more interesting. We keep a slow and clunky 7. It has 2 summonings in it, which is pretty bad as we never really need more than 1. But we have an Excavator alongside a Fetch and a Horizon Canopy, so it's possible to get value out of that there. We play a turn 2 summoning and they play a turn 2 Dark Confidant. We play an Excavator for 1 mana. and play a fetch land out of our bin. We fetch awkwardly, which means we don't have Ass Trophy up to blast our opponent here. Dark Confidant reveals a snowy forest and they play it. No turn 3 Liliana of the Veil is a good sign for us. K-Command kills an Excavator and we have to discard land to it. We draw another Excavator because that's just how we roll. We play a Ghost Portal out of the graveyard. Bob shoots our opponent for 4 damage, revealing a Bloodbraid Elf. Instead of running the risk of Bloodbraid not finding something to kill our snake, they opt to bolt it and attack with Bob. We draw and play Inquisition and they bolt in response, and we see a handful of lands and a BBE. We pass with lands up and an Ass Blast at the ready. They top deck a Thoughtseize and look to rip our hand apart, so we just blast the Bob in response. Bloodbraid Elf finds a second Bob and hits us for 3. We draw off of a Canopy and find a land, untap and find a push. They animate Raging Ravine and get into the red zone. We Ghost Quarter the Ravine and push the Bob in order to allow us to try and top deck gas to get back into this and to lower the card advantage he's getting out of Bob. Unfortunately, we are flooded with yet another land. On to game 2. We have a load of solid mid-range options to bring in to push our grind plan into full steam. Nissa, Vital Force, Thragtusk and 2 copies of Pulse Marassa will help us to eke out card advantage through mid-range attrition. We have a 1 colourless Source hand and Mulligan away. We see a 2-lander without Heartless Summoning and feel sad, but it's probably better than a 5. We put all our faith in the heart of the cards. We scry a land to the top, never didn't have it. Turn 2 Dark Confidant, which we cannot push here as we have no black sources. We play an Excavator that I full on expect to die. Bob reveals a land. Lucky bastard. Our snake has its ass blasted. This allows us to find an untapped black source and retaliate by pushing the Bob.
This card's a Tron killer.
Just goes to prove Assassin's Trophy is terrible, completely unplayable, 0 out of 10, would not bang. I play a second Triple X. This one is played by Ice Cube as opposed to the first that's played by Vin Diesel. And fun fact, I've never actually seen those movies. They play a Goyf and we get our snake ass blasted to bits again. Thanks to the untapped land, we get to pulse our Excavator back from the graveyard. I crack my Canopy, draw an Ass Blaster, and then I play my Canopy out of the bin.
Ultra Combo!
We pass with Ass mana available. We play a second Goyf, we kill the first one with a blast to the ass, and then they play a Kitchen Finks, which is legit in the grinding matchups because I have to deal with it twice. It's basically card advantage for them. We draw and play a Tracker, and then play a fetch land to trigger it and gain a clue. We crack the clue and we find a Maelstrom Pulse. We pass back and they deploy a Bob and a second Kitchen Finks. This Pulse feels embarrassingly mediocre against this double Finks here. Sadness. We crack a clue and cast a Thragtusk. We keep a fetch land up because reasons. They play a Liliana of the Veil and they edict us. We sacrifice the Thragtusk and make a baby beast. We Inquisition them to see a land in hand and then pulse the Liliana away. We cast a Nissa Vital Force and before we can retrieve the Thragtusk from the graveyard, our opponent scoops it up under the weight of our value train. Our game 3 hand is fucking stacked, as long as we draw a black source, and still pretty solid without a black source thanks to the premier 3-drops that we have in our hand and the ability to rebuy them. And a plane is flying overhead. Fuck off, plane! We draw a Windswept Heath on turn 2 because it's better to be lucky than good. We crack it, find a tomb and play Heartless, fully expecting an Ass Blast from our opponent. Nope, nothing. They untap and cast Last Hope, which can kill our Tracker, unfortunately. We play a 1-mana 4/4 and Inquisition their hand to find 3 bits of removal. I decide that if we can keep this on a 1-for-1 removal basis, then we can easily win this game, so I discard the K-Command to avoid them getting a 2-for-1 against us with it. I play a Tracker and then a land, netting a clue. If I had sequenced that correctly, I could have had 2 clues right now, because Magic is hard. They kill my Tracker and then cast a top deck Liliana of the Veil, which is pretty unfortunate. This is quite tilting, to be honest, as this doesn't look like a situation we can come back from. They edict, killing our little dinosaur. Good night, sweet prince. We draw a snake, which is probably one of our better draws here, possibly even our best draw. We play a fetch land from our yard. We pulse and harass the dinosaur back, then play another fetch land from our graveyard. They bolt our Excavator, then Ass Blast our dinosaur. They do not tick up the Liliana of the Veil, however, as it appears they want to keep the card in hand. The bad news for them is that our last card was Thrag Daddy. We untap, cast a Swag Daddy T, and Maelstrom Pulse the Liliana the Last Hope as it could provide them with card advantage if they took it down. At some point I cracked these clues too, but yeah, I didn't write down when, so fuck it, it happened at some point. Probably in an end step somewhere. Bloodbraid Elf finds a bolt and kills the beast with 2 backs, leaving a simple baby boar behind. We draw a Ghost Quarter, deploy and pass. We could offer the trade here, which might have been correct by swinging at Liliana, so either kill Lily or kill the Bloodbraid. They play a Goif Bolt, my beast attack, proving we should have attacked here. We untap and draw the good boy himself, the Gitrog Monster. We Ghost Quarter one of their treetops, triggering Gitrog to draw a card. We draw a Nicki Minaj. We play him, and then we Ghost Quarter ourselves to find a basic, which triggers Gitrog to draw us 2 cards, because 2 lands were destroyed. We draw an Ass Trophy, trigger Nicki, and shoot our opponent for 3. We draw another fetch land off of Gitrog, so we play it, we fetch with it, shoot our opponent for 6 damage off of the Nicki Minaj, and use our mana to Ass Blast the Liliana away in draw step. They concede. Can anyone say value?
Oh, this is so fabulous.
Let's do that again. That was fun. We did die on turn 3 after this game to Storm, who untapped with no Burrell in play. Man, this format is a fucking joke. Okay, let's look at one more game of real Magic. They leave Misty and we Thoughtseize and find a hand that wouldn't look out of place in our deck. Looks like they're bug mid-range, perhaps some form of Ass Trophy nonsense in there as well. As I always say,
That is so
Bug.
Gretchen, stop trying to make
Bug.
happen. It's not going to happen.
we rip away Scoos as their best card against us, and it's their turn 2 play. Turn 2 Collective Brutality from them takes away our loan, which feels fucking great. Even our opponent thinks that was pretty saucy. We dredge and then cast our loan to put 2 more lands into our hand. They play a Tracker, we play an Azusa and a 4th land drop. They crack a clue and get into the red zone, we take it. We fetch end of turn, we loan back 2 lands and play them both. We then cast an Oracle of Muldiah with a fetch land still up. We see another Oracle on top of our library, which we don't want to do. We want to hit land drops if we can. So we crack the fetch to shuffle and find another land on top of that so that we can play. Cool, can you smell that? It's value. It has a similar smell to like burnt sawdust, yeast, and your mother's bedroom. I don't attack because I'm nice like that. Oh, I forgot, one of the 2. Land drop, clue cracked, and red zone again. We take it going to 3 life. I hope he doesn't randomly play Bump in the Night in this bug mid-range deck. That would be fucking embarrassing for us. Last Hope lands and ticks up Shrinking Azusa. I play a Summoning which kills Azusa because of the little debuff from Lily. Whoops. I cast a Gitrog Monster for 3 mana. I then play a land off the top of my library and cast a 1 mana Excavator. I Ghost Quarter our opponent, triggering a draw from Gitrog, but I choose instead to dredge the Loam as the top card of our deck doesn't help us turn the corner here. This in turn puts another land in the bin and draws us yet another card with the Gitrog Monster. This is so fucking good. We see another Azusa on top, which would take us up to 5 land drops this turn if we can draw her and play her. I play and crack the fetch in my graveyard, which draws the Azusa off the frog before we shuffle. We then fetch a forest and cast Azusa. I play a Ghost Quarter out of the graveyard and fire off our opponent's watery grave. This draws us a card off the frog, which happens to be Assassin's Trophy. I decide to fire off the Ghost Quarter up my own tapped forest to go and get a black source to unlock this trophy, but our opponent Ass Blasts Gitrog in response, which means we'll only draw 1 card off this interaction, which is a shame. If I thought about this a bit better, I could have Ghost Quarter myself first, which would have not given the mana to be able to Ass Blast. I guess I'm probably working with known information of drawing my own Ass Blast, so it's hard to say which line was better. We fetch the land of the Ghost Quarter and Gitrog being killed, but in between the searches, the first Gitrog trigger resolves and we draw Obnixilis. So we cast him, we play a land, shooting our opponent for 3 damage in the face. We cast another Tracker and we pass the turn back. Lily murders Azusa and they pass back after cracking some clues and flunging with Tracker. We chomp with our Tracker, and they scoop it up. In game 2, they leave a Serum Visions into a turn 2 Scavenging Ooze. We cast a turn 2 Heartless Summoning. They Ass Blast the Summoning, which leads us to casting a Wayward Sawtooth and playing lands in our hand and Ass Blasting their Scoos. They respond in kind by pushing our dinosaur to death. That's right, they just pushed a dinosaur over and it died. Magic is weird. Thief of Sanity? What? Are we... is this... wait, is this standard? Oh, no? Okay, cool. That could be quite bad for us here, to be honest. We untap and decide to not kill the thief. Instead, we Thoughtseize and take away the Snapcaster Mage, Ghost Quarter them, and loan back some lands, which allows us to continue to make land drops. They hit us with a thief and play a second thief. This pulse looks pretty good now if it weren't for the fact that we know they have a decay in hand. I consider baiting the decay with an excavator, but decide that trading the pulse for 1 thief and a decay is perfectly fine here. We fire off the pulse and they decay their own guy. We play an excavator. We get hit again and they cast our own Vraska and down tip to kill a snake. Sadness. It looks like perhaps playing the snake to get decayed might have been better, and that would then allow our Maelstrom Pulse to kill these 2 flyers. I cast a Gitrog Monster and crack a fetch land. We replace the draw with the Loam Dredge. This spins another land, lands us another draw off the frog, and we find Nissa. We need removal though, so that's not the best thing we could have drawn. We grab a fetch land, shock ourselves, putting us to 6 life, living dangerously, and loan back some lands to hand. We make a second land drop from the Gitrog Monster, crack a fetch land, draw a Thoughtseize, pass the turn back. They attack, take us to 3 life, and Thief of Sanity puts the cards you don't choose in the graveyard, which allows us to draw off of Gitrog Monster. We replace the draw with a Dredge, and that feels pretty good. They tick up the Gorgon, draw a card, sacking a land, and Ass Blast the Frog. They then cast a Tron Killer in Unmoored Ego and choose Loam. We exile it from hand and draw a Tracker. We're just trying to find a push or Assassin's Trophy with this fucking Spectre, so that Tracker wasn't great. We draw a second Tracker, we play Tracker, a land drop, and crack a clue, and find a demon. Nothing useful. We die 2 turns later, but not before they have cast our own Excavator, killed our Tracker with our Vraska, and surgicaled our Ass Blasts. Fucking hell, they fucked us so hard that should probably get uploaded to Pornhub. We have a solid 7 including Heartless Summoning. They lead tap land and we turn to a Summoning and hope for no Ass Blast. They Ass Blast.
Disappointed!
We play an Excavator and play a land from our graveyard. Cast down kills our Excavator, because apparently we're playing standard now, lads. We leave with Azusa and try to bait removal so that the frog survives and generates us card advantage immediately. This also allows us to empty our hand of lands and pulse back the Excavator next end step. They play a Tracker and make a clue, we pulse back the Excavator. We play the Excavator and play 3 lands out of the graveyard. Value. We cast Vraska and kill the Tracker, we leave 1 fetch land up. They play a tapped Watery Grave, we untap and cast Gitrog Monster. We crack a fetch land and draw a card, and they flash in Snapcaster Mage. It looks like they're going to try and kill the frog. We respond by Ghost Quartering the Creeping Tar Pit, which draws a card off the frog. With all this resolved, the frog then bites the ass. Yes, I did just say the frog bites the ass. Why did I say that? What the fuck is wrong with me? I sacrifice a Canopy and sack a basic to Vraska to draw 2 more cards, then play 3 lands out of the graveyard. Again, value. We discard a Ghost Quarter in our hand to Collective Brutality to engage 2 modes, kill, snap, and peek at their hand. We strip away Pulse from Marassa, which feels fucking awesome. We attack for 3. They crack a clue, and I make the Monkey Forest and attack. We push the Monkey Forest off High Ledge. Unlucky Monkey Forest. That sounds like a fortune cookie that has been mistranslated. Like when you Google translate things 5 times. They say GG and scoop it up. Fun, fun, fun. Value was well and truly had. So that's Green-Black Value Town again, which dominates mid-range matchups with a strong value and attrition plan, but still needs a better sideboard to combat fast, degenerate shit found in Modern. I hope you enjoyed these value plays and you got to massage yourself delicately within your pantaloons. Any thoughts on what to do with the fucking mess of a sideboard? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe. Hit the bell icon as well to get notifications and just share the video around. It really helps. I stream every single Monday night on twitch.tv/PleasantKenobi at 7 PM BST, and we're also streaming some Commander from 5 PM this Sunday as well. Follow me on Twitter to see announcements about streams, videos, and just general moaning about Modern. Share this video with your friends and send your kindest regards to your parents from me, especially your father. Tap him on the shoulder, and when he turns around, just wink at him suggestively. He'll know. He gets it. He knows what's up. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet, and this has been your scheduled value intake for the week. Until next time, kids, ta-ta for now.